What's going on, everybody? Rob here, Trev2323. I told you I was going to learn you something else about the grass, and guess what? It came in today. And this big box. Not this. This is my gym shoes, and that's something else. That's a whole other project. But with this big box here, and this right here, can you guess what this is? I'll learn you something. I go everything about the grass. I teach you about the grass and growing your grass, making your grass green and all that. But one thing is, when I say about the roots of your grass, there's actually an insect that eats the roots of your grass. It's called a grub. And they're ugly little suckers. I'm going to put a picture either here, about the grub. It's a little white insect with two little black eyes and little teeth, and they actually eat the roots of the grass. So instead of your grass roots growing long and deep, the deeper they grow, the longer they grow, they can reach to more water. So it's easier. You don't have to water as much, even though 90-degree heat. I still water every day and night. Well, every night, not every day. Okay? But so there's one thing people do for, a couple things people do for grubs. They put grub X down, or they put a grub killer, a chemical down to treat the grubs like twice a year. The chemical kills the grubs. But what I found was a trick from farmers. Let me reach into the goodie bag here. Oh man, I got myself a 20-pound bag of Milky spore. Yes, this is a 20-pound bag of Milky spore. I can show you what a grub is on this bag also, and I'll explain with the Milky spore. Its whole thing in its life is it either eats the grub or the larva of the grub. I don't know exactly what it does, but if you put Milky spore in your lawn, it lasts for like 10 years. They say 15 years, but I go by 10 years. When I first bought my house, I worked with this guy that lived in farmland, and he told me about Milky spore. I said, man, I don't believe that. And so he says, go to the farm, the farm places where they sell stuff for farm equipment. And I went there, and I got a big bag. Now this sounds like little bees, like little pellets, but it was like a powder. It was literally like baby powder. And it says, back then it says, wet the lawn and apply with a drop seed spreader. Okay, so it just drops into the ground. Of course, knucklehead me don't listen, so I wet the lawn and I went like this with this baby powder, covered head to toe. I looked like Casper, but I kid you not, I did not have grub problems at all for at least 10 years. So Milky spore is awesome. So what this is supposed to be a dispenser. Now it rained today, and it's supposed to rain again. So I wanted to open this dispenser to show you about it, and also I want to put the Milky spore down. What the hell? This is the actual dispenser right here. This tube is the dispenser. Look at that. It's like a big salt shaker is all it is. That right there. You put the Milky spore in here, you pop it open, and you go like this over your lawn. Now Milky spore, you're supposed to put it a tablespoon every 4 feet. So every 4 feet, you're supposed to go like this. Every 4 feet, you're supposed to go like this. And that's how you're supposed to put it down. But this stuff works miracles, because I put it down like 20 years ago. And the last 5-10 years, I use grub X, which is dumb. I shouldn't have. I just should have bought more Milky spore. But this year, I said I was going to use Milky spore again. So either way, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, take some pictures, show you what a grub is. And me, like a big dummy, I figured there was going to be a tube or a utensil in here. Nope, you fill this up with the Milky spore. You pop it at the bottom. This is like a big salt shaker. And you go like this every 4 feet in a checkerboard, and it puts your Milky spore down, so you don't have to use your grub X. Somebody already told me, well, ain't you worried because you got kids and the spore is going to go into the dirt? Well, the spore is going into the dirt to live in the dirt to eat the grub. That's all it does. You're putting chemicals down. Chemicals stay on top of the dirt. It's going to wash in, but there's chemical in your dirt. What's worse, the chemical or the spore? Either way, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Alright, so I got the Milky spore tube here. I got this right here. There's like a new can of salt or a new salt shaker. You gotta break half of this out right here. To open it up, see? And then that's to shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Alright, so this side right here, you know why I'm showing you this? Because when I had the spray for the cats, to spray with the cats, somebody told me, well, you didn't really show us how to use it, so I'm showing you how to use this. Now, here's the thing on this. Let me show you this. This is like really pebbles, so that's not going to come through this. You're going to have it in the open like that for it to actually come out of there, because that's pretty thick. The other stuff I used was powder. Okay, well, the rocks that they have in there, I don't know. I'm going to actually open it just halfway a little bit. I'm not going to open it all the way. I'm going to open it probably just like that way a little bit, so just a little bit could come out at a time. If you open it all the way, too much is going to come out. You're supposed to do it every 4 feet. And put like a teaspoon every 4 feet. Last time I did it like a spreader and I just put it all over the place. Okay, so that just happened. I was shaking it like the shaker, like I should have been. Paid all this money for the shaker. And the whole bottom part of the shaker fell out on me. See? So, with this right here, I venture to say I would have just used, I thought it was going to be the powder like I used to have before. This right here, these granules, you could just use a regular spreader with this. Just make sure you water it. I'm going to read the instructions to you after I'm done with this. Okay, so I'm going to go get my trusty spreader. Like I said, my original application when I got this 20 years ago was all powder, like baby powder. This is granules. See, that's granules, and it says 1 teaspoon every 4 feet. I'm spreading this like a spreader. It's 1 bag tree, 7,000 square feet. Although it says different directions on it. I'll read the directions. Lawns, other grassy areas around homes, ornamental gardens, flower beds. During any season of the year where ground is not frozen, water lightly after application, soak spores into the soil. For grubs, apply spring, summer, fall for 2 consecutive years. That's what it's saying. 2 consecutive years. For best results, apply early before grubs hatch. Water thoroughly within 24 hours after applying. Do not mow the granules. Do not mow until the granules are watered into the soil. And let's see. See what we got here. Here's a picture here when the grubs come up. April, May, June, July. Then they go down to December. So June or July, I guess, is when they turn into the beetle. Let's see. Grubs in a winter cell. Grubs come near surface to feed in March and April. Grub forms cell and prepares to pulpate. Grub change into an adult which emerges from the ground. Beetle lays eggs in the ground, preferably grass or sod. Eggs hatch, young feed on the living roots of the plant in August, so you want it before August. Grubs continue to feed and grow rapidly during the roots of the plants in September. Grubs mostly full grown go to the depth. So yeah, so when they feed when they're let's see, grub. Young feed, August is pretty bad right here, and March and April right here. Those are the pretty bad ones, but it does say for 2 years in a row. Spread it for 2 years in a row. Only 6 applications for 10 years. Spring, summer, fall. Year 2, spring, summer, fall. Okay, so I'm spreading this right now, and last time I only did 1 application and it lasted. See, what happens is when the larvae eat it, it actually goes into the larva, and when the larvae die, it reproduces more spores. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my spreader. Put this in my spreader and just spread it all over my lawn. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right, so like I said, the last time I put that down was, man, like maybe 25, 26 years ago. And I think it worked amazingly stupendous. I did put grub killer down probably within the last 5 or 6 years. Not regularly, but I tell you, I don't believe I have grub problems since the original time I put it down at all. But to be on the safe side, you know, if your grass don't look bigger, stronger, or whatever, to be on the safe side, I always like to have grub killer in. And the way you put this Milky spore down, it says, the way it says the application on this bag right here, 3 times a year for 2 years, and then you don't have to do it for 10 years. So my lawn isn't as big as other people's lawns, but you know what? The original one I had was powder, and I didn't do it according to the drop seed spreader. I put it in a rotary thing, I wet my lawn, I put it all the way down, and it lasts for 10 years. This one right here is like granules. It went down in the rotary thing really good. And man, I put more than, it says a teaspoon every 4 feet apart. Man, I just laid that sucker all the way down. It's supposed to rain today, so my Milky spore is down and in the ground. Grubs, look out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.